Hello beauties, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about Nandi Madida. Yeah, it's Madida. Yeah. If you don't know her, she's a South African singer, actress, model, and television presenter. So apparently Nandi Madida on L-Tido's podcast, she said that women should give black men grace. And a lot of people got so mad about what she said, right? Some people agree with her, some people are like, hell to the no. Okay, so when we talk about giving somebody grace, it definitely means showing them kindness, patience, and understanding, even when they make mistakes, like fall short or don't meet your expectations. So it's choosing to respond with empathy rather than judgment, recognizing that everyone has struggles and imperfections. So that statement really bothered a lot of people. I want to say my 2 cents, but I will say it by the end of this video. For now, I just want to play you the clip of what she said, and I'll be playing like few clips of what other people are saying regarding her statement. And then by the end of the video, I'm going to give you my 2 cents.
In a very genuine way, seriously, our black men have gone through so much. And financially, it is almost impossible to try empower yourself, even when you try. You know, the system's against you. You know, people don't have support from the government. You have 400 years of being, oppressed. Where is this money going to come from? You know? And so we do have to give our fellow black men grace. And if you can see, the intention is to do better, and make someone something serious. That's a good guy.
Yeah.
And I mean that genuinely. I always say that, like, black men, particularly, I'm going to speak about South Africa because I'm proudly South African. You guys are up against so much. Now there's more pressure because of social media. So there's this misconception that there should be no struggle.
Yeah.
Or just, get the bag. And that's not realistic. In a real world, in everyday world, you're trying the best you can.
Nandi's not talking about the men that a lot of you women chose in your lives.
Facts.
You chose those men. So if you've got a history of being traumatized by men, it means you have a history of being traumatized by your taste. And who you choose to say, I choose you to be in a relationship with. And sometimes it continues mistreating you and you remain. And then when a woman wants to honor honest black men, you have a problem with black men because of the black man that you sometimes subject yourself to. Sometimes you don't choose to be in a home where your dad is violent or is an alcoholic and doesn't prioritize you. I'm sorry for those. But a lot of women chose the black men that hurt them, and then they complain and become feminists because these black niggas that they chose. No, those are not the kind of men Nandi's talking about.
If there's ever a time for good intentional South African men to have the best example of what a wife looks like, this is the best example. Guys, please go on YouTube and watch that lady's interview. To show you that this lady is saying something, look at the stuff that they are posting online. It's like Nandipa insulted them or said something bad. And the only thing that she did wrong in this case is that she recognized the struggles of South African men. The wealthiest man in South Africa, I'm definitely sure it is Zakes Bantwini. Grootman, if you see this video, you are the most blessed man in this country. You have the exemplification of a woman that has empathy, that knows how to feel for the next person. She is dating you, she is married to you, but she doesn't look down on the average South African Joe. These ones, but the moral of the story is that if you have a daughter, your daughter must exemplify this woman. This is what South African women are. Excluding what she has said about us and what we go through as men in this country. she is showing the characteristics of humanity. This lady is able to look at the next person's situation, even though she's in a better position. This is a woman that has God in her heart. Lona, what did she say? Not what the feminists so totally. Detail in the comments and tell me, what did Nandipa say that was so wrong? Or are you scared at the fact that now the lens of being a victim is not only looked at women, that men also have struggles? And if for a fraction of a moment that men's problems have to be prioritized, you are not part of the equation. Labona, you love identifying as victims so much that you are unwilling to even hear what she's saying, to empathize with your fellow brothers, your fellow neighbors, with your fellow South Africans. You're unwilling to do that. And it shows that feminism, it's not what it actually is supposed to be. What you guys are practicing is satanism. The new age feminism is satanism, because it divides men and women, it divides families, it divides communities. So gents, if you have a social media platform, please let's follow Nandi Madida. Let's grow her platform. We will celebrate this woman and grow her more and further, because she's the first female celebrity that resonated with us without insulting us and spoke to the average South African man and said, I see you, I notice you. We know that there are a few bad elements in our society, but not all South African men are bad. And that's what she was identifying. And that's why these witches have a problem. Please, let's go follow Nandi, guys. Repost this video.
I'm not against Nandi. I genuinely respect her opinion. Mara Nandi wale fora. Majita Nandi wale fora. Langwager. Men are going through a lot. Men must go through a lot. Men are here to suffer so that women can have it easy. Langwager. Nandi is married to Zex Bantwini. Why Patel and Twila Zex? Zex why Patel and Twila, he make things happen. And now we're not going to be motivated by the fact that, the system is against men, and now men went through a lot in this country. Now we must subject ourselves to poverty. Never. We must work so that women can have it easy. Women want money. Whether you are trying or you don't try, women want money. Whether you are rich or poor. Zek Bantwini is charging more than 100K a set, 1 hour. Nandi is married to Zex Bantwini. Why Patel and Twila Zex? You couldn't go for a random guy. Women can just decide to say, I want a broke guy so that I can suffer. All women in South Africa, they are meant to drive Porsche. There's guys with money and women want that guy with money. It's how it is. My brother, this thing your system here, hey, men are going through a lot because the system is against men. Women go for the guy with the money, not with the guy with the good heart, with saying I love you, I love you. I love you doesn't pay the bill, bro. And then now she's telling our sisters not to go for the guy with money and say men are going through a lot. We're not here to be soft boys or soft men. We must work and suffer so that women can have it easy. Whether you're going through a lot or not, women want money. So our sisters must also have that money. Sharp. Bye-bye.
A lot of people in my comments don't understand what exactly Nandi said that was wrong. So let's break this down very, very slow. Point 1, the use of the word females. When Nandi describes women who are struggling, women who are opportunistic in relationships and things of that nature, she uses the word females. Young females, females who are struggling, females who date older men. But when she speaks about women like herself, she calls them women. That is not a mistake. It's linguistic hierarchy. It's coded language. Second point, she was talking about good men. Okay, if she was talking about good men, then I need the characteristics, definitive characteristics with detailed analysis of what these men look like. Because I'm sure all of the women who are single mothers
all of the women who are traumatized through violence and all of the women who have filled up grave sites thought they were with good men as well. So, where are the good men? And how can we identify them before it's too late? Because my dad is present and he's amazing, and my brother is there too. And they'd never tell me to give grace to a man who hasn't proven himself. Point 3. Did I watch the podcast? Podcasts choose the clips they want us to engage with. Those clips are what they believe are the most valuable insights in the conversation and what they believe represents the gist of the conversation. I responded to exactly what they presented. The support. Why do women feel seen? Wow, this actually surprised me. The reason this is getting so much support is because women in South Africa are recognizing that Nandi is speaking over a reality that they have to live every day, and she's asking women to take risks that she never had to. That's it. And why are men celebrating? For years, men have said that men are logical and women are emotional. But now they are celebrating an emotional appeal that removes responsibility from them and places it on women. She basically gave them permission to retreat into victimhood instead of being responsible, instead of responsibility. I hope that fills in the gaps of what I was not, of the context I didn't provide for you guys. Okay, guys, bye.
With this back and forth here, Nandi, men saying this, women saying that, all I'm picking up from this is that the dating scene is a mess. Like, if you are looking for a new partner in 2026, it does not look good at all. I mean, some of us who found our wives 12 years ago, I keep saying 11, it's actually 12 because it's the new year 2026. Back then when Facebook was just about status updates, just about fun and liking each other's pictures, since Mark Zuckerberg is paying people, things have changed on the streets. That's what I'm picking up with this whole back and forth. If I had to look for a partner now, I'm starting afresh in this day and age. It's not safe. It's looking bad.
So, gents, let me get this straight. You have no ambition. You have no goals. You drink weekend and week out. You even leave your girlfriend when she visits you in your back room. You even leave her when she comes and go drink with your gents. Come back at the AMs. Come back super drunk. Okay, wake up in the morning and expect her to cook for you. You have no desire to change your life. No educational background. But you want a Nandi Madida in your life. Balance me there real quick. Make me understand that madness. The audacity. I wonder that audacity needs to be studied at Harvard University. Speaking of Harvard University, Nandi Madida is married to Zakes Bantwini because he's got a hustling spirit, he's got goals, he's ambitious, he believes in providing. You can tell just by the way he moves, business-wise, career-wise, that this nigga knows what he wants in life. Damn, the nigga even has a Harvard degree. Like, the nigga is a graduate from Harvard University. Not just that, the nigga is a Grammy Award winning artist. A Grammy Award winning artist. The nigga has secured sponsors with the likes of Mercedes-Benz, Glenn Morangi. You see that bottle that your boyfriend, or wena Thabo, wena Spijo, wena Tebza, wena Omungu, le ohlobisa ngale rumini lakho, mawuqeda ukuliphuza leli orange Glenn Morangi. Yes, he used to be the brand ambassador for that. Akahlobisanga ngalo. So, a lot of niggas, I've been seeing people sharing, talking about how much they want an Nandi Madida hey, Nandi Madida, hey, get yourself a Nandi Madida in life. And Nandi Madida kanjani when you don't even have half of the characteristics or the traits that Zakes Bantwini has. Wena Mjalifa, wena Sipho, week in and week out, weekend, bekeli beke. Futhi, that's your saying, bekeli beke. Phuzana nama yeneke nitlhoge kima nomkhabo omkhulu ma yeneke na fake. Ngoba they sell fake alcohol la phuza khona. Nomkhabo omkhulu pusha nomkhabo omkhulu. You have no matric, you have no educational background, you don't even have any dreams. The only time you get excited is when you see ama-hotman passing ngama-AMG wabo, ama-hotman abuyophanda. That's the only time you get excited. That's the only time you get excited. You have no goals, no ambitions, but you want a Nandi Madida in life. Nigga, get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey everyone, I quickly just want to touch on this discourse surrounding the Nandi Madida interview that she did with L-Tido. And I just want to, swiftly address a couple of things. I think that was a beautiful interview, first and foremost. Nandi Madida is absolutely stunning, such a lady, such a class act. However, there are things that rubbed people off the wrong way, if I could say. And I think that all stems from a lack of confidence, I would say. Because I'll tell you this, in most instances, people will attack something just to be defensive or just to cover up for what it is that they lack. And I can unpack this to say the interview showed Nandi speaking on various topics, right? But people tend to take one thing and run with it. So that particular part where Nandi spoke on black men in South Africa going through a lot, people took that one clip, climbed on the bandwagon, they took it and ran with it, So I don't understand, number one, why the feminist movement is mad. I don't know why they're mad. I don't know why men are also mad. Some men, let me not say men, but rather some men are mad. And giving props to Nandi to say, she understands our pain. And yes, they're well in their right to give her props for that. And they're saying, where's the purple movement and whatnot. So I think where these men are wrong is that they are now bashing the rest of, South African women to say, why can't you guys be like Nandi? She understands our pain. But what they fail to realize is that Nandi also mentioned the fact that her husband, has always provided for her from jump, from the get-go. He has kept his promise, kept to his word to say that he will provide for her. I don't know how people miss that part. And I don't know why, the feminists chose not to take that part into consideration to say this woman is actually treated well. She's treated soft, Why are people mad? That is my question. Because Nandi herself stated that she shows up in the world, very happy. She's in her feminine era. She can be a wife. She can be a mom. You can see this is a woman who's soft, who is well taken care of. And she humbles herself, to her husband, meaning she is in her feminine, soft era. And her husband provides for her, And I think it also boils down to the fact that sometimes people don't read to understand, Unfortunately, that's the case. Sometimes people just don't read to understand. And then the other thing is that sometimes people listen to defend themselves because there's something that they're lacking. So in essence, I enjoyed the conversation. And what people, I think the key things that people can learn from this conversation is, number one, she spoke on how women deserve to have a partner and a man in their lives that is similar to her husband, Zakes Bantwini, a man who honors his word, who is intentional, who can provide, who can keep his word, So it's possible, men like Zakes do exist. And it's also possible for a woman like Nandi Madida to exist, where you're just someone who balances things out. So she is very well versed, and she's just got so much depth, and she is she's logical enough to understand that when you are elegant and you're a lady about your business and you move in the world in a certain manner, you can get yourself a man who really loves and adores and cares about you in the same way that she got her husband. That's what women and feminists should ask themselves to say, how can I be as gracious and very, balanced like Nandi to get myself a good guy. And then the men should also, who are talking about like, oh, purple gang and like Nandis don't exist. Those are men who know that they have fumbled, all the Nandis in their lives, unfortunately. Like I said what I said, so men should also ask themselves this, like to say, what did Zakes do right for him to honor his wife and take care of his wife? I know it's not as easy, our paths are not the same, but I don't understand why people are so pressed. Like, why are they so pressed? Because if you know you're a good guy and you might not be as successful as Zakes, but you're well on your path to being successful and making something for yourself, regardless of, the circumstances, the African diaspora, specifically like South Africa, our history of 400 years of struggle and all of the odds that are against us as Black people, more evidently odds against Black men. But as a guy, ask yourself, like, how can I be more like Zakes? How can I even emulate what Zakes is doing? Those are the things that we should ask ourselves, not to perpetuate this whole, like, evident gender war that is happening where Black men and Black women are against one another, because they did touch on this topic to say, why is it just like people of color, the men and women fighting against each other for what? For what, When you got it good, you got it good. There's no need to try and now repost a short clip just to like prove your twisted, narrative. There's no need for that, because you got it good. And also for the feminists, there's no need to just take one thing from an entire hour-long interview and try, create something that's not even there. Like, come on, guys, we can do better than this. Hey, that's all I needed to say. Peace and love. Let's do better.
No, the reason why I've been quiet about this whole Nandi video is because this thing irritates me. Because who in the South Africa does not know that men don't need to be given anything because they take? If men want you as a woman and you don't want them, they take you. They can either take your life, take your vagina, they just take. Whatever it is that men want, they take. So I don't understand why right now it is us women who have to give men grace. If they wanted grace, they are going to snatch it out of us. And also remember this whole structure, the way patriarchy has structured the position of men and the position of women. It's not women who did that. It is men. Now the very same system that they put in place, Bona self, is now defeating them. Where do we come in as women? Where? And I understand, or maybe the reason why Nandi doesn't know this is because when we are doing about things that men take from women, girl, she's not there, so she wouldn't relate. So Mina, in my opinion, I feel like because she's living in a bubble where a man needs to be given grace because he's doing a lot, it's okay, my sister. Our struggles are not her struggles.
You can't, as a woman, be married to a man and not inevitably become male-centered. That's my 2 cents on this Nandi Madida thing. Nandi did nothing wrong. She said what she said and she is what she is. She might have not been like that, but she's married to a man. She sleeps with a man. She shares a bed with her man. She sees the experiences of her man, regardless of how good he is to her, but she also sees the traumas that he experiences, and she will end up having to speak for the male species because of her experiences. A few years ago, we had a conversation with a few friends of mine, and we're talking about interracial relationships. And one of my male friends says, I can never marry a white woman. I would never do it. And we were all like, how? Why? And he says, you can't marry black, you can't marry white and remain black. And we were all shook. He's like, I'm going to be sleeping with a white woman, sharing the experiences of a white woman, start to see her trauma, start to see her problems, and then inevitably forget about who I am and what I stand for. That's just, that's just the way it is. And I think back then I didn't understand, but as I grew, I completely understand. Because if you look at a lot of people who are in interracial relationships, not just blacks, not just whites, it's very hard that you're going to find people that are Pan-African, that are, I don't know what's the term for Pan-African and whiteness, white superiority, whatever that is. It's very, very hard. All of them are just mid. We all have life experiences. It's bad for all of us. We are all fine. So if you are sleeping with a man, sharing children with a man, you are with him 100% of your time or 90% of your time, and you see how society treats that man, you will start speaking for men and confusing yourself to think that all men have the same experiences as your man. And so that's just the way it is. She did nothing wrong. She spoke of the experiences of her husband and the man in her life. And unfortunately, she just said all men. But she can't speak for all men. She's speaking for the men in her life, and she's seen how difficult life is for the men in her life. And she just said, you know what, they just need a little kindness. You know, there were moments that she saw the world beat Uzakes down, and he needed kindness from home and grace to say, Shapu, you are unable to pay the mortgage. I saw you trying. That's what she meant. And she's not saying give grace to rapists, give grace to murderers, give grace to abusers. That's not what she's saying. She's basing that statement on the man in her lives or in her life.
Okay, there we have it. So, I had this conversation with a friend last weekend, and she was like, for centuries, women have been giving men grace, right? Our great-grandmothers, our grandmothers, our mothers have gave men grace. However, what did the man give in return? Nothing but chaos in their lives. And she added that there are so many women in their graves who died prematurely, all because they gave a man grace. You hear me? So it's like, okay, cool. I understand you, right? However, what Nandi said, she was speaking about the good man. There are good men out there. We witness men who are doing great things in our community. Those men are the men who deserve to be given grace, who deserve to be praised. Those are the men. There are men out there who are treating the women in their life with kindness, patience, and respect, love, Nandi, she's talking about those men, right? And something that I realized, a lot of women who are against what Nandi said, they're speaking from the trauma that they have experienced from a man. However, like, we should acknowledge that there are men who are good. There are men who deserve to be celebrated. And yeah. Oh, before I go, I wanted to comment on the man who is agreeing with Nandi and using phrases like feminists or purple gang to make their point. It just shows what kind of people they are, So if you're not showing grace in your own lives, in your actions, don't expect it from others. So these type of men don't deserve any grace from women. Because you can just hear by using these terms like feminist or purple gang just to prove their point, right? And Nandi, she's not even talking about such men, right? So she's definitely talking about men who show grace in their lives, who apply grace in their lives, right? And they're not degrading women or dismissing women, right? Yeah. So please do comment below, subscribe if you haven't, like, and yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next video.